it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio. Today is the first day of hashtag Art Journal Habit 2019. This is a daily art journaling challenge brought to you by our art community over on Facebook called Art Joy of Sharing. There's a prompt list that you saw at the beginning, and there will be a video on my channel every day in November. The first thing I was talking about here was that we've been doing Art Journal Habits since 2015, and I started out doing it in a Dilutions journal and kind of mixing and matching, and then by 2017 I made a dedicated journal, and that's what I'm showing you right here, which is made out of the card type junk mail that you get. So it's a junk journal. There's the prompt list glued in the back of that one. And then 2018 I made another journal that was also made out of card type junk mail. It was all ads for the elections. And this is my book that I did that year. It still has a few pages left in it, so you can see what type of ads they were. And I just cut them to size, punched them, put a little bit of gesso on. And then this year I'm using this journal that I made out of gel prints. So that's what I'll be using this year. Now, last week on our Art Joy Sharing live stream, I started this page. It has some graphite on it and some gesso, and then I used a little bit of a metallic paste through a stencil. I don't have the footage of that beginning of this page because last week during the live stream show, my secondary camera turned off. It's my phone, and somebody called and it turned off the video, and then I didn't realize it and didn't turn it back on. So that's all it is, a simple starter page. And the reason that I decided to use it is because we are also doing the Pick-a-Stick Challenge. Usually for the Pick-a-Stick Challenge art journal page, the video comes out on the first Friday of the month. And tomorrow, which is the first day of Art Journal Habit, is also the first Friday of Pick-a-Stick Challenge. So it's all combined onto this one page. My pages are smaller than I normally use for art journaling. This is 5.5 by 8.5, like a half sheet of cardstock that's been, most of the pages have been gel printed on each side. This one is actually watercolor paper. I needed one more page and I didn't have another double-sided gel print, so I just cut one out of watercolor paper. I needed to have enough. So for the Pick-a-Stick Challenge, the first step was that the stick that was drawn, I drew them this month, was Polyfilla, which is modeling paste or molding paste, depending on what brand. So I'm using golden molding paste through a stencil. This is a Stencil Girl stencil. It's the same one that I had put that black metallic looking textured piece there that was already dry. I want to put this picture of a cat, which is going to be the prompt for Art Journal Habit is roar. I know this is confusing. First day, and we're doing all these different things. It's crazy. Excuse me. But believe me, it all works out. The prompt is roar, so I wanted the cat. So I trimmed him out and laid him over the page so that I could not put the molding paste where I was going to put the cat down, because that would just make it hard to glue it down. So I just made myself a little line and only put the molding paste through the stencil above the line so that I would be able to glue my cat down. Then, because there are two colors for the Pick-a-Stick Challenge, slate and plum, I got out this plum spray. This is a Marabou art spray, so it's a permanent ink spray in a bottle, and it looks more purple to me than plum. I don't think it looks like plum at all, but that's the color that says on the bottle. So then I got out another one, which is called mint, because I wanted to add a little bit of greenish color to the plants, because I'm figuring that my cat is rolling around in an herb garden. There's probably some catnip in this garden, and then my cat loves it, wants to roll around in it. So I thought that there needed to be a bit of greenish color there as well. And besides, these two colors coordinate really well together, the kind of purplish color and the teal color. And then I've still got the slate going on in the background, and also that dark gray part of that one plant there. So I figure I've covered the colors and I'm pretty happy with that. I'm putting a little bit more on, and I'm just using the straw on the inside of that bottle because the bottle was clogged, so I couldn't spray it. It's probably better anyway. So that's taking care of the polyfilla or modeling paste prompt. The next prompt was conventional. I didn't figure there was anything conventional about this page, and I couldn't really come up with some way to use that. So I decided to replace it with a wild card. This is something you can do with the Pick a Stick Challenge. Remember, you can put something in the beginning, the middle, or the end. That's fine. You need to use the 6 steps in order. And if you want to replace one of the steps, you can use one of the wildcards. That's for when you're stuck or when you don't like a prompt, you can replace it. So I replaced it with the prompt letters. And I have this book from Tim Holtz that has a bunch of words in it. It doesn't necessarily have the words that I need. So I'm taking some of the other words and trimming them apart into letters and then creating the saying that I wanted to say, which is, I do not whisper, I roar. And just kind of like putting them on their cattywampus or, whatever. My last letters are wooden letters that I'm going to put on there with the word roar. And I'm saving those little part words in case I have to do that again someday. Then I'm going to collage on my picture, which is a cat probably yawning, but it looks like it's roaring. you know, it's got its mouth all wide open. You can see his little teeth. It's very cute. This photo is from a website called Unsplash, Unsplash, that is where photographers can put their photos and you can use them royalty and copyright free in your artwork. So that's where I printed this off. I printed it off onto my inkjet printer and then I sealed the ink with some fluid matte medium and a brayer, just lightly brayered over some fluid matte medium to make sure that the ink was all sealed in since it's an inkjet print, not a laser print. It'd be nice if I had a laser printer, maybe someday. So the next prompt was finger, and to me that just means finger paint. So I got out a little bit of paint and filled in the area down below the cat where the ground is with some similar colors to the green, and the cat needs something to lay on. So then also with my fingers, I got out some of this Inca Gold. It's like a beeswax with mica pigments in it. This color is brown gold, and I thought it matched very well with the coat of the cat. The cat has that same type of brownish gold in his fur, and so I thought that would make a good color to add into the composition and to kind of highlight the texture of all that modeling paste by just rubbing my finger over the modeling paste and adding a little bit of this metallic paste. Worked out really well and really brought everything together with the color because I didn't have that brownish gold color in the background, so the cat didn't exactly, go together with everything else until I did that. The next prompt was burn, and I decided to get out my wood burning tool. This is actually the first time I've ever burned any wood with it. What I use it for is to cut out stencils from thin plastic because it's just a hot knife basically. But it does make marks and indentions on wood. And these letters that I picked out from my collection are wood. So I'm burning the wood with my wood burning tool, and it makes my room smell like a campfire. It smells nice, actually. A lot better than the plastic smell when I'm cutting out a stencil or something with that's plastic. It smells very stinky. I don't like that. But the wood smell with the burning smells nice. I thought that was kind of funny. So I'm just making random marks. They're not, I'm not a professional wood burner. This tool has other tips that might have been more useful than the one I'm using, but I can't find them because this is the one I used to cut out the stencils. That's all I ever use it for. So did put a piece of glass underneath my project just in case. I didn't want to burn a hole in my craft mat or my paper and start something on fire. Uh, I was also thinking maybe another option for that word might be burnish. You know, when you make something shiny by rubbing something flat over it, burnish. Or maybe you could just put a charcoal pencil, which is burnt wood, something like that, charcoal or a charcoal pencil. So, anyway, that's a kind of a weird prompt, but that's what the Sticks of Fate gave us, and you just use what you got. So, I decided I wanted to add a little color to my wood, and I used purple ink and a little brush to kind of just brush some purple onto it. And then I glued my letters down to my page using craft glue, tacky glue, because I wanted them to stick very well, and this glue will stick them on there permanently so they don't come peeling off when I'm flipping through the book. So let's see what happened after that. Oh, I decided to put a little bit of that brown gold on there as well. You know, just to kind of make them blend in more. They were very stark against the background. The next prompt, oh yeah, the next prompt is trowel, which means basically palette knife. And I was like, what am I going to do with that? And I just decided to get one of my palette knives out and to use some of that Inca Gold mica stuff to make the ground look like it has pebbles on it. I used a rounded tip. And since it's kind of a paste, I could just scrape it on there. And then the next step, the last step for this pick-a-stick challenge is curve. And I thought, what better way to do curve than to use a corner biter, or I think it's actually called a corner rounder, but I call it a corner biter because it bites the corners off and makes them curved. And I thought that would be a good finish to the page to have those interesting round edges. I don't do that very often, and it was just kind of fun. So then I just needed to do finishing touches. All my prompts are done. I've got Roar on there for Art Journal Habit. I've got all the Pick a Stick Challenge prompts on there. Feeling pretty accomplished. So I get out my white Posca pen, because what do? You get out your white Posca pen. I mean, that's just what you do, right? And then I decided I would use some Prismacolor colored pencils to jazz up the cat a little bit. Um, it's printed on an inkjet printer. It's not a completely clear print really, and also it's kind of blending in too much to the background. I wanted to make it look more. I wanted it to stand out from the background more, and I also wanted it to be kind of almost look a little bit more um, illustrative-y. I wanted to add some lines, okay? I like lines. They make me happy. So I took the color cues from what the cat's fur colors is, and I got out a light yellow and a light gold and some browns, different tones, and just kind of made little marks, little scratchy marks around the cat's fur, highlighting the top edge and some of, kind of bringing things out that way by adding highlights and shadows and little marked colors here and there. I just like, oh, I think it makes it look better. And I think I used maybe four colors. This is like a big set of Prismacolors. Look at all those colors. I don't use them very often, but it worked really great for this. And then, some pink on his mouth and on his nose and ears. Just jazz up the colors a little bit, brighten it up, bring it out. And then, of course, back to the white Posca pen, did his whiskers. I cut the whiskers off when I trimmed the cat out, so, needed his whiskers back. Brightened up his teeth a little bit so that you could see those really bright. Yeah, just a little bit of finishing touches. So I hope you guys will, and girls, mostly girls, will join us in art journaling every day. If you don't get every day, that's fine. If you don't like a prompt and you want to use a different one that day, if you want to combine prompts and do more than one prompt on a page, all those things. These challenges that we bring to you from Art Joy, of sharing art community, are to encourage you to do art, to get something developed, develop a habit of doing some sort of creative activity each day. Maybe it's not even art journaling, maybe it's baking, maybe it's gardening. Just we want you to have an outlet for your emotions and your joy. Become joyful about doing something creative. So that's why we offer these challenges. I hope you join us with Art Journal Habit. If you do, you can post your art over in the Facebook group. There'll be a link below the video for you to ask to join. There'll be an album there for you to post. Also, if you just use that hashtag Art Journal Habit 2019, that just goes everywhere on social media, and we can find you that way by searching the hashtag. That's kind of like labeling your whatevers so we can see them. So if you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment or question below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Pin this on Pinterest. Turn on your notification bells. All those things help my channel grow, and that always makes me happy. I'm doing this for free, so when my channel grows, I know people appreciate it. That's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.